What's going on? Welcome back to 100% NUFC. Sharky speaking. I hope you are all doing really well. So this is your Premier League predictions week number 3, where you can take on me, where I'll be predicting all 10 Premier League fixtures which take place over the course of the weekend. Now, if you haven't seen Premier League week 2, as I can see on the screen, nobody got any of the Premier League predictions right. I only got 2 right. Some of you got 2, not quite got 3. But if you put your Premier League predictions in for this weekend, if you get 3 right, you have a chance of having a screenshot of all your 3 predictions correct on the screen for the next video, and you will also see me subscribe to your channel as well. And talking about subscribing, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for regular NUFC content and Premier League predictions, where you won't miss anything to do with that on this channel. And also don't forget to hit that like button as well and put your Premier League predictions in down below. So now we're going to be running through all Premier League fixtures which take place over the course of this weekend. There's a lot to get through. So let's start off with the early kickoff on Saturday, and it is Wolverhampton versus Manchester City. Now, Wolves haven't really had the best start to the Premier League season. I know there is big expectations for Wolves to finish around about the top 10, you know, with them strengthening, spending a lot of money. But it's all about gelling, and it's a bit like Fulham, the other promoted team in Cardiff. It's going to be a big reality check. You know, they haven't exactly had the best start, and they weren't really convincing either against Leicester City. Man City, on the other hand, have been absolutely unstoppable. Some of the football, you know, that they've been playing, and again, I have an early favourites to win the Premier League. You know, you just can't stop Man City at the moment. Some of the football that they're playing is just unbelievably sexy to watch, and some of the goals that they're scoring as well. You can't bypass them at the moment, and I think they've scored something like 9 goals in 2 games. So that says a lot of where Man City are at the moment. And in terms of the game, I think it's going to be a tough one for Wolves. You know, even though Wolves are at home and they're going to be expected to get points if they want to stay up this season, but you can't go past Man City, and I think Man City will have a little bit too much for them. I'm going to go for a Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Man City 3 result. Next up, it's the 3 o'clock kickoffs on the Saturday, and it is Arsenal versus West Ham, so it's a London derby. So Arsenal haven't had the best of starts either. A lot of them are talking on Arsenal fan TV that they're in meltdown and Unai Emery's not the best man for the job. But you've got to remember that Arsenal have had Man City, who are up there challenging for the Premier League, and they've also had Chelsea, who are also challenging for the Premier League. New manager, very good squad, and to be honest with you, against Chelsea, I thought Arsenal were unlucky. I think, you know, they could have got something on another day. You know, they came back, you know, from 2-0 down to draw 2-2, and I think they just ran out of steam a little bit. West Ham, on the other hand, haven't had the best start of the season. They were 1-0 up against Bournemouth, and then they fell 2-1. Losers at the Olympic Stadium last Saturday and lost by 2-1, and you also lost 4-1 to Liverpool, so they haven't exactly had the start that Pellegrini and the West Ham fans would have expected. Now, I think it's going to be a tight game at the Emirates, don't get us wrong, but I'm going to back Arsenal to win this one. I reckon it's going to be a tight game though, because it's a London derby, and both teams will be going ham and tong for the game. I'm going to go Arsenal 2, West Ham 1. So next up, it's Bournemouth versus Everton. So this is going to be a tough game with both sides. Bournemouth have got off to a really good start in the Premier League, winning back-to-back games, winning their first 2 games, picking up 6 points. I think they've played with a confidence, you know, where they've left off last season. Everybody has predicted Bournemouth to go down, but you know what, in front of their fans and the way Eddie Howe wants them to play, you know, they're playing with absolute class, and you know, Bournemouth can only play, you know, to their strengths and to the players that they've got, and they've got a really balanced squad, and the players seem to understand each other. They're also coming up against an Everton team who have also picked up 4 points from 2 games. They drew with Wolves, and they'll also beat Everton beat Southampton, at home by 2-1. I think it's going to be a tough game for both sides. Like I say, I know Bournemouth are at home, but I can't really back against Bournemouth the way they play at the Vitality. Yes, it's a small ground, but the players play with confidence towards the fans, and the fans always seem to take to the players. And Bournemouth's a hard, you know, place to go, and Everton are a good side. Don't get us wrong. They've started to pick up, you know, which was a disastrous pre-season, but Bournemouth, I'm going to have to back them to win this by 2-1. Next up, it's Huddersfield versus Cardiff. Now, Huddersfield haven't had the best start of the season. This season, I have backed them to go down because, for me, they don't score enough goals. I did have them to stay up last season because, you know, being new to the Premier League, and it's always nice to see an underdog do well. And if Huddersfield want to stay up this season, it's going to be massive, you know, their home performances, and they're going to have to win pretty much at least 50% of the games at home. stand any chance of staying in the Premier League. They have conceded a lot of goals up to now. Last game out, they lost by 6 goals to 1 to Manchester City, but a lot of sort of clubs are going to take a hammer against Man City this season because they have a better squad than the majority of Premier League clubs in the Premier League this season. Cardiff, on the other hand, they played us last week and they drew 0-0. We could have actually beaten them at the end, and I haven't really been impressed with Cardiff, if I'm honest with you. They don't exactly play the best football. I don't think they attacked us enough last week, and for me, I just don't think they've strengthened enough. I don't think they've brought enough quality, and I think it could be a really tight game at Huddersfield. I don't think Cardiff are really going to want to lose this one, and I don't think Huddersfield are going to want to lose this one as well. So, if I'm honest with you, I think it's going to finish Huddersfield 1, Cardiff 1. Next up, it's Southampton versus Leicester City. Now, Southampton lost by 2 goals to 1 away to Everton. Mark Hughes kept them up last season, of course. They haven't exactly had the best start to the season. Leicester City, on the other hand, they lost, I believe, last week. So Jamie Vardy got sent off. It's not really looking too good for Leicester at the moment. I think it could be a tight game at St Mary's Stadium. Southampton, they have recruited quite well, don't get us wrong, but I think it's going to be another long season for them. They just don't seem to have enough efforts on goal. They just don't seem to play the Southampton way, which is what it was, 2-3 years ago. And that's no disrespect to Mark Hughes, but it's just the way they've been playing over the course of the last 3 to 4 years, because they've been selling all their best players, and they just somehow have enough to stay up. Leicester, good team, but again, they've sold some of their best players like Mahrez. Vardy's going to be out for this one as well. But you know what? I'm going to back Southampton to win this one by 1-0. Now, it's the late kick-off in the Premier League. It's 5:30. It's Liverpool versus Brighton at Anfield. Now, Liverpool at the moment are just unstoppable. They've won back-to-back games already, picking up 6 points. They beat Crystal Palace by 2 goals to 0. They could have scored more. Liverpool at the minute, just with the quality that they've got, Jurgen Klopp, the fans, they're all right behind them this season, and the players are seeming to be taken to the fans again. And they're just finishing off where they finished last season and just continuing winning games and getting the fans on board, which is important. Brighton, got a really big shock result against Manchester United. At their ground, 3 goals to 1 to beat Man United, and Brighton on the day could have scored more in that first half. Okay, second half it kind of died down a little bit, but they had a real good goal against Man United, and Brighton showed their qualities. I did have them to struggle again this season, but you know what? If they continue to win a lot of games at home like that, show fighting spirit, then they've got every chance. But I think Liverpool, because they're so good at Anfield in the way they play, Mohamed Salah, Mane, you can't stop them, and it's going to be a really tough evening for Brighton, and I reckon Liverpool are going to win by 3 goals to 1. Now let's move on to the Sunday games. They're the first early kick-off, 1:30. It's Watford versus Crystal Palace, so another London derby. Watford have had a really good start to the season, winning back-to-back games under Gracia. Looking very impressive against Burnley by beating them 3 goals to 1. You've got Troy Deeney there, the great finish. Demarai Gray, that partnership seems to be, a really good one this season, and I reckon that they could, score goals this season. And they seem to have gelled, they seem to have taken to Gracia as well, which I think is a massive thing. He has been, sort of tackled for the sack because Watford don't seem to keep the managers, but they seem to be proving everybody wrong. Crystal Palace, again, another team, Roy Hodgson, they've won back-to-back games, 6 points. Oh no, sorry, they lost the last game, so they picked up 3 points. So they've not had a bad start, if I'm honest with you, Crystal Palace. At times against Liverpool, they were a little bit unlucky. I know Roy Hodgson came out and said that certain decisions in the game went against them, but they seem to be, playing the way they left off last season, scoring goals, winning games, and trying to win the hard way, and that's the Crystal Palace way for you. But I think it could be a really tight London derby, but I kind of back against Watford at the moment, the way they've started. And because they're at home, I'm going to be back on Watford to win this one by 2 goals to 1. Then we'll move on to the late kickoffs. It is the first one. It's Fulham versus Burnley. Now Fulham have had a little bit of a reality check, losing back-to-back games. They lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace, and they also lost by 3 goals to 1 against Tottenham Hotspur. Now you could argue that Crystal Palace, they should have been getting a result there. First game of the season at home. The money that they've spent, £120 million, but it's all about gelling, and they are learning the hard way of the Premier League and the reality of what's going to be they're going to be up against this season. Mitrovic did score against Tottenham Hotspur, albeit it was quite fortunate, but he was at the right place at the right time to score. Burnley, on the other hand, it's going to be a tough season for them, I think. because the Europa League, the squad depth as well, it's not exactly huge. They've got a few injuries, and against Watford, when they pulled it back to 1-1, they seem to have lacked ideas, and Watford on the day could have scored 4 or 5 at Turf Moor last week. And Burnley need to sort of find the right balance this season in the squad. I don't think they're going to go down, but it is a massive sort of responsibility when you've got to battle the Premier League and the Europa League at the same time, and you're taking the Europa League seriously, which I think is the right thing to do. Bear in mind, it has been about 50 years since it's been in it, so it's going to be a tough game, I reckon, at Craven Cottage. I think it could be quite nervy because Fulham will be expected to win this one. The pressure will be on Fulham because they're the home team, and because the 2 games that they've played that they've lost back to back, the fans will be expecting a response. Burnley as well, they'll be the same. They will be looking for a response, but they might be tired because they've got to go to Olympiacos on Thursday as well in the Europa League. So it could be a really tough game, at Craven Cottage. But you know what? I'm going to back Fulham to win this one by 2-0. Then another late kick-off at 4 o'clock, and it's my team, Newcastle United. We take on Chelsea at St James's Park. We haven't really had the best start of the season. We've got a really tough run in. We lost by 2 goals to 1 at Tottenham at St James's Park. We also got a 0-0 draw against Cardiff City last week at the Cardiff City Stadium. We missed out on 3 points with the last kick of the game, missing a penalty. Confidence wasn't quite right down at Cardiff last week. We underestimated them. I just felt our game was just off, and we haven't really been the same. And as a fan this season, I just don't know where we're going to get our points from. I've always said it, we're strengthening the squad. The summer hasn't been great. We've had a key injury to Lejeune, who I thought was huge towards our escape last season in the relegation zone. Seeing him out is massive because we've got Shaw and we've got Fernandes, who we don't really know about too much, and it's going to be tough. I think Benitez has to change it around a little bit on Sunday. I think he's got to start Rondon and Mutu instead of starting with Hoslu, because for me, I just don't think he's good enough. I think, like I say with Joselu, he's got to play sort of like the last 10-15 minutes of the game, depending on what the result is. Chelsea, on the other hand, have had a really good start of the season, picking up 6 points. They beat Huddersfield, and they've also beaten Arsenal by 3 goals to 2, so they're looking quite scary this season. Under the new manager Sarri. I think they're going to come up here with no fear. They're going to want to get revenge after last season, because we did beat them last game of the season at St James's Park by 3-0. I don't think it's going to be as comfortable as what it was that time last season, but I think they will come up with a fight, and they will be challenging for the Premier League this season, no doubt about that. I'm sure Chelsea will come up in numbers, and I will be there, of course, for a matchday experience, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel for that. I think it's going to be a tough game for us, but we need to be on the game. I think Rafa's going to set up to defend. Chelsea will come to attack. They've got quality, no question about that. Hazard will be a massive influence to how they play. Willian, Morata, Giroud. We just haven't got that, and that's the difference between Chelsea and ourselves. But if I'm sort of speaking about the game positively, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think that's all I can expect against Chelsea, but I wouldn't be surprised if we somehow pull out, something like a win. But let's be realistic, 1-1. Then we'll move on to the late kick-off on the Monday, and it's Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. This is a big match. Man United got humiliated by Brighton by 3-2 last week at the Amex. They were shocking, if I'm honest with you. I don't think they deserved to win the game. I don't even think they deserved to draw the game. Brighton deserved the win. Brighton done to Man United what they should have been doing to Brighton, and they took the game to them. Man United had no answer. Pogba did get the late goal to pull it back to 3-2, but there was no chance of a response. Now there was only seconds to go, and Man United need to wake up, because the way they've started at the minute is not good, and obviously Mourinho has been sort of like touted for the sack. Read that into what you wish, but Man United need to start hitting the ground running. There's no point arguing over transfers and things like that. Yes, Man City have got money, they've spent more, but Man United have got a good squad. I could understand it, they've got a squad like us, but Man United, they've got talent all over the pitch, and Mourinho sort of needs to change the formation a little bit, and we need to play the Man United way, which is what it was, a few years back, of attacking and being that hard team to beat at Old Trafford. And I think it will be a tough game on Sunday. Tottenham, have had a good start. They're going to be challenging for the league this season. Tottenham beat ourselves, and they beat Fulham by 3-1, so they have what it takes to cause damage to teams. And Tottenham play with a no fear attitude, confidence. They play with flair. Kane, Dele Alli, Son, Eriksen, they play sexy football, and it's unbelievable to watch. And You can only admire what Pochettino's doing at Tottenham, and I think it's going to be a tough game for both teams. But I reckon on Monday night it's going to finish at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Now that's just been my Premier League predictions for this weekend. What I'm going to do now is leave all my predictions at the side there so you can have a look what I've predicted throughout. And you can also put your predictions down below in the comments. Like I say, if you enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. I will be doing a review from the Newcastle game against Chelsea on Monday night, so stay tuned for that. Also, there'll be a matchday experience on Sunday night from the game. So there's so much more to look forward to on this channel as well. And like I say, help us out, subscribe, put your comments in down below, and thank you so much for watching. It's been Sharky. Until the next one, how are the lads?